Is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of the Stochastic NHL Strategy Show. I'm your host, Josh Harris, back in the saddle. Cliffy taking you guys solo on Saturday. As Clayton said in the Discord, no one missed me.
I missed you, buddy.
Thank you. That makes one. Nephew's first birthday party. Whew. But yeah, quite the weekend for some stochastic avatars. First, let me address this one. We got a $100 super chat from Nick Lasovich. This is Sinistar. That just reminds me of role models. Minotaur. But anyway, that's just my weird brain. He says, this is Sinistar. Pulled the first in the $5 single and second in the $12 single with your Columbus one recommendation. Carolina one with Keandre and Sorokin as my goalie on Saturday. Thanks, Cliffy. Keep up the great analysis, both of you guys. I appreciate you throwing the both of you guys at the end. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for the super chat. That's a really nice win. Yeah, I mean, listen, I missed the show on Saturday. Cliffy was on Columbus and Carolina as well, so it seems like he really got his point hammered across there. Congratulations to you, and thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, appreciate it, Nick. Really appreciate the support. That's a generous super chat. Congrats on the good night. It's funny, I was telling Josh before the show, I actually had a good Saturday night. I went about 15x. The one thing that sunk me was my goalie. Because I had Carolina and Columbus as well, but I correlated with Chekhov. He finished with under 10 points. If I had gone with Sorokin, he got the shutout. It would have been a completely different night. You made a much better goalie pick than I did. Had a excellent night because of it. So congrats to you. Hopefully we can get you another big night here soon. Yeah.
And then last night, our whipping boy, Daily Deposit Frostback, shipped everything he was in last night. Won the 15, won the 5, won all of his winner take alls. He's been in the Discord for probably like 3 years. He'll probably DM me and be like, dog, I went to elementary school with you. And like, that's how like out of it I've been. But yeah, man, it's been a long time coming for him. He's one of the regulars in Discord. Nice to see him ship with Ducks. And everybody is talking about the season Cutter Gauthier is having. The only, like, one of the main reasons he's having an unbelievable season is because how fucking good Leo Carlsson is. That's a cascading effect. But yeah, huge night for Frostback. I asked him to borrow a band because, you know, that's his shtick. Whenever anyone wins big, he goes, let me borrow a band. So I checked my Venmo. It still says 0. But congrats to you. Super long time coming. Been in Discord grinding away for a long time. So super happy for you.
Yeah. Congrats to Frostback on a huge night last night. Like you said, it's perfect that it happened with the Ducks. The Ducks have been a buzzsaw so far this year. Frostback, he wasn't wrong about playing them all the time last year. He was just early. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, congrats to him. Had a huge night. You always love to see it when the people that stick with it for a while finally get rewarded. So congrats to you, Frostback. Also have to shout out Blackjack Brando. He had a first on Saturday night. He also had the Carolina Columbus stack. He had a couple different defensemen. He went with Nurse, and he had Igor in net. Classic Igor. Not really doing a whole lot. But Brando did need a BA Armstrong 35 on DraftKings. Congrats to him on a really good night. So that's nice to see. Also saw Peter Cahill in the chat said, great shout out on the Columbus stack. Took first in a few small contests. Listen, we love the Anaheim Ducks, but the Columbus Blue Jackets were our Anaheim Ducks before the Anaheim Ducks were our Anaheim Ducks. So they did well for us on Saturday. Congrats to Peter on that night. A really good weekend for the Stochastic members. You really do love to see it. Hopefully it carries through during the week. Don't yell at us if it doesn't.
A couple things about the Ducks, though. I don't think Columbus was the Ducks before the Ducks, because during the COVID shutdown, we're like, the Ducks have a 2.3 total, but also Frostback was very down on the Ducks this offseason. And who was shouting from the rooftops that we thought they were a playoff team? Yeah. I'm going to make this about me. No, but yeah, awesome stuff to see. Some of the OGs from our chat winning is always nice to see, but we have a 4-game slate here tonight. Rangers might actually score tonight. We should discuss.
Whoa. Don't get ahead of ourselves.
Whoa. Let's turn the main down a tad there, Skid Row. But yeah, let's get into this 4-gamer. This is actually a pretty fun 4-gamer. Not really, but seriously.
Hey, listen, man. We've had some bad 4-gamers before. This is not one of them. There are going to be considerably worse nights than this over the next 5 months. So let's enjoy this while we have it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's start with a battle of, I guess it's not really the 4 boroughs. I guess you could say the 5 boroughs, and if you include Newark. But the New York Islanders making the trip across the George Washington, heading into Newark, New Jersey. That low-key blows as well. The Devils have a 3.2 total. Devils going Hughes, Bratt, Nason, Heischer, Meyer, Mercer. Islanders going Horvat, Palmieri, Heineman, Barzal, Drouin, Holmstrom, Lee, Pajot, Duclair. So Dougie Hamilton's still out. There is questions about I know Staten Island's not a borough. We should just trade them to Portugal for some cattle or something. But anyway, there were some question marks about the Rangers. The Devils' power play, because Mercer got taken off, Meyer got put on, Nason was off. I don't think they ran special teams this morning. The ones you can guarantee are going to be on the power play are Hughes, Bratt, Heischer, and the double Hughes, Bratt, and Hischer. Just a matter whether it's Nason, Meyer, or Mercer. As the other guy, with that being said, I know Sorokin had the shutout last game and all that was fun, but it was the Rangers at home who have 1 goal at home outside of the Sharks game. So the Islanders aren't a good defensive team. Like there's no secret about that. They have a bad penalty kill. It's just a question of which Devils line you want to use. Neither of those Devils lines have actually been great from a creation standpoint. The Nason line is a much smaller sample because he just came back from injury. Hughes and Bratt have been, fine for seasons together. I kind of lean that one at 19,000, especially if, Nason does see some net front time on that top power play. He's only 3K, 23.5% top 2 stack, 16.8% projected ownership. There really isn't a matchup that I'm super concerned about. Like they'll probably see Barzal, Drouin, Holmstrom, or Lee, Pajot, Duclair, and neither of those really, really worry me. So, for 19K, I don't mind that. You can go to Hischer, Meyer, Mercer. It's just you just don't know who is going to be on the power play on that line. Could just be Nico, could be 2 of them, could be 3 of them at times. You just don't know. And with Dawson Mercer there, they just really aren't like Heischer, Meyer, X with anyone besides Mercer is such a better line. So, if I'm 5-on-5 stacking, it would be the Hughes line. I think this is a spot where you can go double center, go Hughes, Hischer, Bratt, add in Luke on the blue line if you want. I think power play stacking here is fine. Now, Dougie is out, so the power play isn't as good, but it's not like it's a drastic drop-off to where, like, they suck. It's still fine. Much better with Dougie, but, beggars can't be choosers. So if I was 5-on-5 stacking line, would be the Hughes line. I think you can power play stack. On the Islanders side, it would be Horvat, Palmieri, Heineman. I mean, listen, I've watched way more Islanders games than I want to admit. Emil Heineman looks like he belongs up there. I know he was on the fourth line in Montreal, but like there was like a stretch where he was playing like 18 minutes a night for Montreal. He's not out of place there.
I mean, just to cut in quickly, I will say when that trade happened, I was completely fine with the first 2 first-round picks going. It's like, go ahead and take them. We don't need the mid-round picks. Losing Heineman sucked because I thought he would be like a middle six, gritty 15 to 20 goal scorer. And honestly, he looks like even better than that through the first 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I thought he would be the next Brendan Gallagher on Montreal.
That's what Zach Bolduc's for.
Yeah, that was a great trade. But, you can't win them all. But, yeah, it would be the Horvat, Palmieri, Hyman line at 15,600, 3% projected ownership. Like, they're fully correlated. This is a brutal power play matchup for them. Devils have a very good penalty kill. But they're going to see a fair bit of that Hischier line. And while Hischier and Meyer historically have good numbers, like I just said on offense, it's the same on defense with Mercer there. They're not as good. So I don't think I'd prioritize them in single entry. But at 3%, 15,600 fully correlated on a 4-game slate, 20 max, I am definitely in on them. I don't particularly love Barzal, Drouin, and Holmstrom, so I think if I was going to go to another line, it'd be JG Pajot, Lee, and Duclair at 11,300. They're a filler I would consider. So it would be Devils 1, Devils power play, and the Horvat line.
Yeah, I don't think the Islanders one is perfectly correlated because I think it's Horvat, Palmieri, Barzal, Drouin on the power play.
Oh, right. I need to get that in my head because Barzal in my head is still on power play too for the game he missed because Anthony Beauvillier set his alarm clock wrong.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. But anyways, like to me, honestly, it doesn't, I mean, it would change a little bit if they're perfectly correlated, but whether you want to play them or not, I don't think hinges on whether Heineman is power play 1. Here's the reason, like I'll start on the Islanders side. The reason I don't want to play that Barzal line, like I don't like them either. One, none of them are shooters. I mean, Barzal has been in the past. He hasn't been so far this season. Like if you look at his shot rate numbers, they've cratered back down to where they were 3-4 years ago, as opposed to the last couple seasons when he was shooting a lot more. All 3 guys on that second line are between 9 and 11 shot attempts per 60 minutes. Like those are all below average numbers. So it's like, remember that scene in The Simpsons where they're watching soccer and the guys are just passing it back and forth like in their own end? Like that's basically what this line is. I slander them now, watch Drouin go get a hat trick or something, but that's why I'm kind of out on Islanders too. I think Islanders 3 is in play. Duclair hasn't played well so far this season. Like he's a guy when he's going can be like a legitimate 25 goal, 50-point guy. Wasn't healthy last year with that ankle injury. Like he hasn't looked good to start this year. I think they're fine because Lee and Pajot can drive enough offense to kind of carry him. But if I'm playing the Islanders, and I'm playing an even strength line, I look right to the top line. Horvat, Palmieri, Heineman, 45 minutes together, 60 minutes together for Horvat and Heineman, 62 shot attempts, 2.8 expected goals. They are shooting. All 3 guys on that line are between 16 and 19 shot attempts per 60. Palmieri and Horvat are on the top power play unit. Obviously, Horvat individually is off to a very good start this season. He's tied for 3rd in the league in goals. But it's not only that, he's averaging like 3.6 shots per game or something like that. So, his shooting percentage is 20%. It's probably a little bit high, but there is a lot of volume to back that up. They're going to run to that Hischier line. The Hischier line has not been that great defensively, like basically league average, even if a little worse. I wonder if it's the line or the defenseman because
Siegenthaler's been terrible.
Yeah, he has not been good so far this year. Basically any pairing with Brett Pesce has been fine. The rest of them have been kind of shaky. Like I guess like the Dylan Nemec pairing has been fine, but that's also like third pair getting bottom 6 matchups. Like they're not really being used against the other team's top pairs. So like whether it's Hischier, whether it's a defenseman, one way or another, that line has not been good defensively. The Devils' penalty kill is not what it was last year. I know their penalty kill percentage is strong. It's because their goalies have a .922 save percentage on the penalty kill. Like 900 would probably come close to leading the league by the end of the season. 870 would be a good season. So like there's some regression coming for that penalty kill. Their shot metrics are basically the middle of the road. Islanders power play has been fine, a lot better than last year. Not elite, not even great, but average, slightly above average, which is a miracle considering where this team has been or where this team was last year. So I really do like Islanders 1. If you want to take off Heineman, like just to get better power play correlation, I guess it's fine, but he's only 3,400. He's shooting a fair bit. He's playing like 14, sometimes 15 minutes. It's not like he's one of like a Tampa Bay Lightning guy on the second line that's, lining up on the second line and then gets 9 minutes or something like that. Right. So I might just leave Heineman. I kind of like the Islanders top line here at 15,600. The Devils are a very, very good offensive team. Their defense and goaltending do not worry me whatsoever from a DFS perspective. On the New Jersey side, I think I would probably go with Hughes, Bratt, and Nason, and here's why. One, maybe Nason jumps to the top power play unit. Maybe he doesn't. We'll see. At the very least, he's not expensive it's not like he's 5,100 and you really need a big night from him to pay off. Like, even if he's not on the power play and he can donk it and assist with a couple shots or something like that, you're fine. So I'm fine with Nason. The big reason is Jesper Bratt, because you and I have talked repeatedly about how his ice time was down considerably from where it had been in previous seasons. That's turned itself around lately. If you look at his last 5 games, 17, 18.5, 20, 22.5, 17.5. He's been getting a lot more ice time. It's not the 15, 16 minutes he was getting for a few weeks there. So he's getting a lot more ice time. Jack Hughes is shooting a ton. Nason is priced very reasonably. We mentioned it a couple times last week. The Islanders have amongst the worst high danger shots against metrics in the league, which is why it's incredibly funny that they shut out the Rangers. Sorry.
It's coming back. Don't worry.
So I really do like that Devils top line. They're going to get the secondary matchups. Like, a big thing for the Islanders here is like this Islanders blue line is like, listen, Schaefer and Pullock, good to great defensive pairing. I think, I feel reasonably comfortable saying that. Pelech, D'Angelo, Adam Pelech's good. And Romanoff, Mayfield, like Romanoff has had a terrible season, and Scott Mayfield was literally facing backwards on that Kaprizov Zuccarello give and go goal the other night. Like, he was literally facing the wrong way. He got spun around so bad. Like, that's not going to be a good defensive pair. I feel like once you get into those second and third pairs, things are going to get even worse for the Islanders. That, I think Hughes and them can make some money there. So for me, this game is about both top lines. I'll be honest. If you're going Edmonton power play stack, we'll talk the Oilers later. If you need a super cheap 2-man or reasonably cheap 2-man anyways, that third line with Gritsuk and Cody Glass. Glass has been good since he got there last year. They don't have a huge sample together this season, just under 70 minutes, but Glass and Gritsuk, 73 shot attempts per 60 minutes. Gritsuk's over 16 shot attempts per 60 minutes individually. You want to do like a Gritsuk Glass 2-man, Glass Palat, like something like that. I kind of think I like them better than the Islanders third line if you need something super cheap. But for me, it goes Devils 1, then Islanders 1, and then probably Devils 3.
Let's talk about the Rangers. Nashville Predators with a 2.4 total heading into Madison Square Garden. The Rangers have a 3.1. The Rangers have 6 goals at home on the season, and 5 of them came against the Sharks. They've been shut out 5 times in 7 games at home. Or 4 times, something like that. It's just atrocious. So they called up Gabriel Perreault. The DraftKings added him to the player pool, mercifully. He's going to be on the top line with Miller and Zibanejad and then Panarin. Trocheck also back, so they're going to go Trocheck, Panarin, Lafreniere, with Will Cooley down on the third line with Noah Laba and Taylor Radish. Nashville going Forsberg, O'Reilly, Evangelista, Halla, Marchessault, Stamkos. I think I don't think they ran lines this morning.
No, they didn't.
Kemmel's back too, right?
Yeah, and they did mix them up a bit last game. They also mixed up the power play again. Like, the only line I have any confidence in, like, we know that this I feel confident is going to be a line, is that top line. The rest of them, I'm not sure. Even the power play, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So we were talking about this game a fair bit in the Discord, and we kind of came to the conclusion that, and it's not exactly rocket science here, that they're going to try to avoid Gabriel Perreault in the shutdown matchups, which means more than likely Trocheck, Panarin, Lafreniere are going to see that O'Reilly, Forsberg, Evangelista line. Now, that Trocheck, Panarin, Lafreniere line has been good for seasons. Offensively, defensively has been up and down, but if they're going to go out against the O'Reilly line, they're probably going to have Fox Gavrikov behind them a fair bit. I see chalk on Nashville one here, 16.5% projected ownership, and it's just like it's fun. Like, I get it because the Rangers have been an absolute dumpster fire at home. But, like, I just don't want to play chalk Preds on a 4-game slate. 2.4 total going against Igor Shesterkin. Like, listen, I know he gave up 4 goals on 21 shots the other night. He had a bad game. The Islanders had, like, 1.7 expected goals in that game at 5-on-5. He had a bad game. If the Nashville Predators create 1.7 expected goals, that'd be a miracle for them, 1. And 2, Igor would probably have a much better game. If you want to play them, fine. But, like, in that 15K price range, I'd much rather just go play the Islanders top line, like we just talked about, for a fifth of the ownership. So, if you get there in 20 max, 150 max, or if it's 150 max tonight, then yeah, that's fine. But, like, in single entry at that ownership, I'm taking a pass. If you want to do like a one-off Marchessault, one-off Stamkos because they're on the power play and, you have feelings about the Rangers at home, go for it. But I have no idea what the lines are going to be. I don't have any confidence they stick together, even if the coach told us, because Brunette loves to juggle them anyway. My interest is on the Rangers side here. And I know that's a homerish take because they have.
I was going to say big surprise.
Yeah, it's a homerish take because they have 6 goals in 7 games at home. But that O'Reilly line actually has been pretty good defensively. That's the only line that's been good defensively on the Preds. So if Trocheck's going to go out against them, they're fine at 17-4 because Trocheck, Panarin, Lafreniere has been good for seasons. They were their best full line last season. Trocheck got hurt pretty early on, so this season, so they don't have a huge sample this year. They're 17,400 at 11.8% projected ownership. Like, they're fine, but that O'Reilly line has been very, very good. I think I would go to Miller, Zibanejad, Perreault at 15.5. The one thing that's a little concerning to me is if they do send out Trocheck against O'Reilly and play the most of their time with Fox and Gavrikov, like Miller and Zibanejad's numbers without Fox, not great. So, I mean, it's not awful. It's not great, but Gabriel Perreault, as Cliffy said, as a Habs fan, was one of the best first-round picks in that round. He is a legit player. He played with Ryan Leonard, who's on the Capitals at Boston College. He is a highly skilled player. He didn't look super out of place in the playoffs last year. He just looked like he needed to eat a cheeseburger and put on a few pounds. So, like, I'm in on Zibanejad, Miller, Perreault. I'm also in on the third line, Laba, Cooley, Radish. If you're power play stacking like the Devils or the the Oilers. Laba and Cooley have been very, very good together this season. Will Cooley's still on the top power play unit as the net front for now. I think eventually JT Miller moves into that role and they put Trocheck back in the bumper. But for now, Cooley's still on the top power play unit. So it would be the Zibanejad line. I think the Cooley line is fine as a filler. Nashville one is fine. It's just like at that ownership, I'm just going to go play the Islanders.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about Nashville one. Like, I do like Nashville one as a line. Like, I've already played them this season, much to my chagrin. They're kind of like Kadri and Farabee in Calgary, where they have these monster expected goals numbers. They haven't started scoring yet. It's like, is it going to happen? Are they going to leave them together long enough for them to reach a breakout? Like, that top line for the Preds, like, they do have monster offensive numbers at 5-on-5, like 82 shot attempts, 3.7 expected goals per 60 with Evangelista on the top line. Those are like basically Colorado 1 numbers. That's not an exaggeration. But they haven't scored. Like Nashville, and that's just been the theme for the Nashville Predators over the last 13 months, is that 5-on-5 / even strength, they can't score. Does it change eventually? It seems like it should. Does it change going up against Fox and Gavrikov? And then on top of that, the Rangers are one of the least penalized teams in the league, 3rd fewest times shorthanded per game. So, like, Nashville only might get a couple power plays here tonight. And do I want to do that when they're chalk? It's like there's a lot of ticks in the X column and not so many in the checkmark column. So kind of out on that. There's not really a lot in the Nashville depth that interests me. Like, I don't want to slander Holla and Bunting, because then I'm going to stare down a Eric Holla 2-goal 2-assist night or something like that. But I really don't have any interest in them. Like, it would be like Marchessault, Stamkos, Svechkov, if only because they'll avoid Fox and Gavrikov. And, like, listen, the Rangers have been great defensively this season. And, like, even with Fox and Gavrikov off the ice, they've been pretty good. So it's not like it's a great match. It's not like getting the Islanders depth pairs, certainly, but it's a better matchup. So, like, I would be fine with that, but I don't have single entry. Like, I agree with you. I would much rather play the Islanders top line than the Nashville top line. And I don't have a ton of interest in stacking their depth lines. It's a Rangers game for me. Your point about Zibanejad and them not having Fox behind them because of how the shutdown matchups will probably work is a good one. And if you look at Zibanejad's numbers without Fox on the ice this season, like on ice numbers, shot attempts could go down like 20 per 60, expected goals go down something like 22% or something like that. But they go down from very high to still above average. And if you, oh my God, if you look at the defensive numbers for Nashville's second and third lines, they're a catastrophe. Yeah. They don't need Fox and Gavrikov on the blue line behind them to be able to get the run of the play. So
Perot them too. He's a kid, but who knows?
Yeah. So, like, I do like that Zibanejad, Miller, Perot line, like you said, and I would rather play them than Nashville one. Like, there's another line in that 15K range that I'd rather play the Nashville one here tonight. 15,500. Zibanejad and Miller will probably still get their 20 plus minutes. Like, now that everybody's healthy, they can go to not playing the fourth line at all and run like their top 2 lines 20 minutes each or whatever. The 7th, 8th, 9th forwards will get like 14, 15 minutes or something like that. So I really do like Zibanejad, Miller, and Perot. Perot is like a legit prospect. So I'm kind of excited to see how he does here tonight, actually. I do think the Rangers power play should get better. I mean, they scored in their first game with Cooley. They obviously didn't score in the last one, but I do think things will get better. They're just creating too well, and it's not like the Nashville penalty kill is anything to write home about. So for me, this is a game about Rangers 1. If you want to play Rangers 2, like, I really don't have an issue with that, because Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere, 17,400. if they get close to the level they were even last year, this line is like $19K. If they get to where they were a couple years ago, it's a $21,000 line, right? So like all they have to do is just get a little bit better, and this is the cheapest we'll probably see that line all season. So that's why I really don't mind playing the Panarin line. But I do think Zibanejad and Miller will have the much better 5-on-5 matchups. You get 2 out of 3 guys on the top power play unit anyway. So I always lean more towards the line with the power play guys on it. So it's Zibanejad, Miller, Perreault for me. No issue playing Rangers 2. You want to dip down to Rangers 3. Like I've been impressed with Lapa. I have to say that. Like he's the one forward that always stands out in a good way every time I watch the Rangers, which has been far too often this season. So like if you want to do like a Laba Cooley 2-man or something like that, I think that's perfectly fine. But for me, it goes Rangers 1, Rangers 2. That's my interest in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like not to like toot their horn, but like going up against the depth of Nashville and the depth of Nashville Paris, and they're really good forecheckers. So they can just wreak havoc. So I don't mind them. The 2.9 total heading into Edmonton. The McDavids have a 3.7 total. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to IR with an injury.
Imagine if it wasn't an injury. He was just like feeling kind of sad a little bit.
Like, or just like Patrick Berglund retiring to Sweden.
I mean, that was a whole other level. Like instead of playing in the NHL for the Buffalo Sabres, he's like, screw it, I'm going back to Europe.
Such a power move. I don't even know. Did they run lines?
Who, the Oilers?
Yeah.
No, not that I saw anyway.
Yeah, because like the top line could be McDavid, Draisaitl, Roslovic, and that would be a fully correlated line. But, like, I have to imagine with Nugent-Hopkins out, they're going to split up McDavid and Draisaitl at least to start.
I agree with that.
So it's probably going to be, like, McDavid, Mangiapane, Savoie, and then, like, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Roslovic would be my guess. And, like, McDavid, Draisaitl, and Roslovic are going to be on the top power play. Like, an educated guess would be Henrique. Could be Savoie, could be Mangiapane. I doubt it's Mangiapane. I think it would be like Henrique 1, Savoie 2, Trent Frederick 3 or something like that. I really like your guess is as good as mine. Basically, what I'm saying is if you want to play the Oilers here, I think you do like McDavid, Draisaitl, Roslovic, and just call it a day. That is 21,400, which really honestly isn't that bad because Roslovic is only 4,300. He's actually looked fine at the net front. We have them in the top stack as that with a 43.6% top 2 stack percentage, 27% ownership. Like they're going to get ownership. Like Columbus is not a good defensive team. They have, the coach said, some flu bug going through the locker room. I think it was Olivier, Monahan, and Cole Sillinger did not skate this morning. Are all 3 of those guys penalty killers too?
2 of them are.
I'm not sure Monahan is.
Coyle is their number 1 penalty killer, and then Monahan, Jenner, Sillinger, Olivier.
Yeah, so if Monahan, Sillinger, and Olivier are out, that's half their penalty kill. To an already struggling penalty kill. So listen, I like Edmonton obviously has had their struggles. Their power play has still been fine. Like they really, really need Hyman back soon. But 21-4 against the Columbus Blue Jackets penalty kill with some guys possibly missing. In on Edmonton power play. That's really the only thing I'd have interest in on the Edmonton side. Like, I don't want to play like Henrique Frederick because I just don't. On the Columbus side, like Marchenko, Fantilli, Voronkov, 16,500, 5.5% projected ownership. Like, I know they're $1,100 more than Nashville won, but they're coming in with a third of the ownership. That's another line in that price range I'd rather play. And I know that, Edmonton generally fine defensively, good penalty kill. The Edmonton Oilers still have the same goalies as last year. So, if Marchenko was on the Stars or like another big market, he would be one of the faces of the NHL. So at 16.5, I'm in on Columbus 1. You obviously, maybe you could fit them with Edmonton 1, but you'd have to play like Jake from State Farm on the blue line. But Edmonton power play, Columbus 1. I'll have to wait and see on Columbus depth because there's a bunch of guys who are possibly out here tonight. Didn't have a ton of interest in them anyway, so it's really just both top lines.
Yeah. Hopefully it's only the depth guys are out, because those are the guys missing from morning skate that didn't skate today. So hopefully it's not going to be any of the big guys or the guys on the top line anyway. I don't want to bring like a hate narrative analysis when you're talking about this, but like the Oilers are coming off like one of the worst losses of the Connor McDavid era, which is truly saying something. And you get a Columbus Blue Jackets team that has not been good defensively at all this season. Like you talk about their penalty kill on the PK, fourth most shots against, eighth most goals against in the NHL this season. If you look just overall, they're giving up the most shots against in the NHL this season on a per minute basis. This is a great matchup at home for Edmonton. Apparently Columbus is at the very least going to have some guys playing sick, if not just straight up out of the lineup. And it's like, if you were ever just going to absolutely just drop your nuts on the table and just beat the piss out of a team, it feels like tonight should be the night.
Just Stan's dad style.
Yeah, walking, like just skating around the ice with a wheelbarrow. It feels like this should be one of those nights. You never really know with the Edmonton Oilers. It is a really good power play matchup. Now, we've said it before, the Oilers don't draw a ton of power play opportunities. That's the one thing that kind of sucks. Like they're at 2.8 power play opportunities per game. It's like 6th or 7th lowest in the league. The thing is their power play has been so good. They're averaging the 3rd most power play goals in the league. Think about that. This team is 26th by power play opportunities per game and 3rd by power play goals per game because the top power play unit has been so good. We don't know who the 4th man is going to be. Almost kind of like when Hulk Hogan joined Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Here comes the 3rd man. I like, this is a great matchup for Edmonton 1. And the thing is, like, I would be a lot more concerned about the Oilers if they weren't creating well for one reason or another, right? Like, their offensive numbers aren't quite what they should have been last year or what they were last year, but 3.3 expected goals per 60, 67% of the expected goal share when they have McDavid, Bouchard, and Draisaitl on the ice, and they haven't scored yet. It's like they haven't scored yet at 5-on-5. So eventually that dam has to break. This is a really good matchup. This is a night we already talked about guys from the Islanders, guys from the Devils, guys from the Rangers. Heck, you could probably even game stack here. There are a lot of cheap options to pair with those Edmonton guys. I feel like it is one of those nights for the Oilers, especially on a short slate. They're going to carry ownership. Obviously, this line coming in 27% projected ownership. Some of the single dollar, lower dollar stuff, or single entry or lower dollar stuff, or whatever, you're probably going to see this line over 30%, and they probably should be. I really do like Edmonton 1 here. They're who I would play. Like, it's like, where would you even go if you're going to play the depth? Because they didn't run lines. Is it going to be like Henrique, like Frederick Phillip again on the 3rd line? Are they going to put Kappen in there now, or Janmark there? Sorry, now that he's back, who knows? I would just go McDavid, Draisaitl, Roslovic, and be on my way. On the Columbus side, it feels chasey to go back to them, but they're basically the same price they were last game. And the ice time is the concern with Columbus, right? They got there for us on Saturday night. That's great. Adam Fantilli played under 16 minutes. Dmitry Voronkov played 15 and a half. And that was in a game that they lost. Like it's not like they got out to a 4-0 lead and were sitting back. Now, the mitigating factor here tonight would be if they are missing some forwards. Like if they do are 2 or 3 guys, you would think that they would give more ice time to the top guys. I really don't mind going back to Marchenko, Fantilli, Voronkov here. You got to think if Monahan's out, that they move Fantilli to the top power play unit. I guess we'll see. But I do like going back to Marchenko, Fantilli, Voronkov. Problem is recommending other lines. We don't know if anybody on those lines are going to play. I don't really mind going to a 2-man of like Monahan, Johnson if they're in, but we could see a game time scratch for 1 or 2 guys on that line. So Edmonton 1, Columbus 2, the Marchenko line for me out of this game. And if that feels pretty straightforward to me.
Daily Faceoff just changed lines for Edmonton. Yeah, I went and looked. There's a beat writer speculating what the lines could be. They didn't run anything actual, so Daily Faceoff's using that as a placeholder. Florida Panthers with a 2.8 total heading into Vegas. The Golden Knights have a 3.1. William Karlsson was not at morning skate. Vegas going Barbashev, Eichel, Marner, Hurdle, Dorofeyev, Saad, Smith, Howden, Kolasar. Florida going Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez, Marchand, Lundell, Luosterainen, Bennett, Samoskevich, Bachwist. So that's interesting. If William Karlsson is out, do you think they send out the Eichel line?
They have to.
And that line has not been good.
Because as it was, like they were using Karlsson in a shutdown role, but it's like if the Karlsson line couldn't get on the ice for the shutdown matchup, they were sending out Eichel anyway. So you got to think that they just send out the Eichel line in the shutdown matchup.
Yeah, and that line has been bad. Real bad. So 16,100 for Rodriguez, Verhaeghe, Reinhart. They've been good, like real good, too. So, they're just not scoring, which has been the theme for the Panthers this season. If the Rangers were actually scoring, the Panthers would have the headlines for that. Like, they legit have not been scoring. But that Eichel line has been atrocious defensively. This line's 16,100 with 9.8% projected ownership, a 12% top 2 stack. I do really like them. Listen, that Eichel line in 60 minutes this season, 3.7 expected goals against per 60. That Florida top line in 90 minutes together, 3.9 expected goals per 60. So, Rodriguez, Verhaeghe, Reinhart, for me, if you want to dip down to Marchand, Lundell, Luosterainen, I think that's fine. They've been good offensively. They're more pond hockey-ish than the top line. But basically, if I'm going to stack Florida, though, I want Sam Reinhart in my lineup. So it would be that top line for me. You want to one-off Samoskevich because he's cheap and on the top power play. I think that's fine. But if I'm going to play a line, it's going to be Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez. On the Vegas side, there's 20% projected ownership on Hurdle, Dorofeyev, Saad. That's just bonkers. The Rangers line is not even $1,000 more for way less ownership. The Islanders isn't that much more expensive for way less ownership. I mean, if you want to play them, that's fine because they'll see some of that Marchand, Lundell, Luosterainen line, and they've been, like I just said, they're pond hockey-ish, but that's fine. The 20% ownership is just too much for me. If you want to go up to Eichel, Marner, Barbashev, they have 13% projected ownership. And not only has that Rodriguez, Verhaeghe, Reinhart line been excellent offensively, they've been unbelievable defensively. So, I don't want to be out on Vegas, but in single entry, I'm probably going to be out on Vegas. If you happen to get there in MME, obviously, Jack Eichel is a star in this league. You don't want to just exit out Jack Eichel because he's facing a good defensive line. But for me, in single entry, it's just hard to prioritize them with the matchup and the ownership. So I'm probably out on Vegas in single entry.
Yeah, I mean, just to your point about Eichel, like Draisaitl, Jack Hughes, Connor McDavid are the top 3 projections for skaters here tonight. Number 4 is Eichel, and he's like a 1.5 ahead of the next closest guy. So like, yeah, he still has a very strong projection. Like, my issue with Vegas is something that we talked about last week. It's the power play. Since Mark Stone got hurt, their power play numbers have been like fairly bad. Their shot attempts per minute on the power play without Stone, and I had to double check this elsewhere to make sure it was right, is down 37%. Their expected goals rate goes down something like 40%. Their actual goal scoring rate has completely cratered to a below average rate. This went from one of the best power plays in the league to atrocious. So, you know, even though Vegas does draw power plays, Florida does take penalties. Theoretically, it's a good power play spot. The Vegas power play has just been so bad without Stone and with Theodore running things. Like, it's one of those things. It's like, can they get there at 5-on-5 / even strength against Florida? It's like, I guess they can, but do I want to play them at that price? Like, if I'm going to play, like, they're almost 19K. If I'm going to play super expensive lines, like, I'll just screw it, go up and go play Edmonton instead, right?
Or even the Jack Hughes line.
Right, exactly. They're both in much better matchups. So I don't hate playing Vegas because, you know, Eichel and Marner, so Eichel and Marner, anything can happen in a single game. Like, we see teams just completely lay eggs, and Florida can do that here tonight and lose 5-0. But given what we've seen with the Vegas power play, top line has really not been good with Marner there. They were a lot better with Stone, and the second line was fantastic with Marner. So you got to think it's just some sort of chemistry issue. I'm out on Vegas one. I would rather just pay up way more, go play Edmonton, pay up a little bit more, and go play New Jersey. You know, whether Carlson's in or out, I mean, I guess we'll see. If we knew he was in, I would have no problem playing like him and Smith in my Edmonton lineups or something like that. But I guess kind of like by process of elimination, it's Vegas too. I don't really want to play them at 20% ownership. So I'm not Xing Vegas out. I haven't made my lineup yet, but there's just not a lot that's like, oh yeah, like this is a really good reason to play this line here tonight. It's basically reasonable ownership on the top line, and that's it. So like, I'm kind of out on Vegas. I think I'm more in on Florida. Like you said, that Florida top line generating a pile of expected goals, just not a pile of goals yet. Carter Verhaeghe was indeed moved to the top power play in the last game. So at least you get 2 out of the 3 guys. You get Verhaeghe and Reinhart on the top power play unit. Reinhart's playing 20 minutes a game. Verhaeghe's obviously going to get more ice time because of that power play time. Rodriguez will be around 17, 18 minutes a game. You know, Verhaeghe's shooting under 4% at 5-on-5. Like, you know, it's just been a bad month or whatever. Eventually that's going to turn around. I like that Florida. I like that Florida Rodriguez, Verhaeghe, Reinhart line. I kind of agree with you. I don't have any problem dropping down to the Lundell, Luosterainen, Marchand line. They do play pond hockey, but they have been productive, or at least Marchand has. But for me, this is I guess technically they're listed as Florida too. Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez. There's the top line. This is a Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez game for me. That's what's really interesting to me between them and Vegas.
Yeah, I just have a hard time stacking Florida without Reinhart, especially with Barkov and Tkachuk out. But yeah, like Luosterainen and Lundell, Marchand were their best line in the playoffs. So it's, you know, they have history. Let's talk about defensemen here. There are 4, 5, 6 active defensemen 5K and up. Jake probably still has Roman Josi in the projections. But that's a Jake problem, not a us problem. And Werenski is at 8K, and then the next guy is Bouchard at 6,200, Fox at 5,800, Shea Theodore 5,500, Schaefer 5,300, Luke Hughes 5K. Like I think Evan Bouchard is the best spend up option tonight in terms of like matchup and power play and all that. So I think Bouchard would be one for me. I think spending up for Werenski would put you on a very unique path here tonight, especially with people jamming McDavid and Draisaitl. So, if you're fading Edmonton and you want to get on a weird path, I think spending up for Werenski is fine, but it'd be Bouchard 1, Fox, Luke Hughes 2/3. You can argue about it, and then Bouchard 1, Werenski 2, and then Fox, Hughes 3/4. I need to go learn how to count, but what are you seeing up there?
Yeah, Bouchard has a much better point per dollar projection than Werenski does. So while Werenski obviously does lead the leaderboard for defense projections here tonight, Bouchard is a much better point per dollar value. And 6,200, Bouchard's cheap enough where you can put him in with your Edmonton top line stack, right? Like this isn't a case where like if you play Colorado 1 at 24K, you can't really play Makar or something like that. Like this, you can actually squeeze him in. So I do like Bouchard. If you do want to play Werenski, I have no issue with it. Like I think he played over 29 minutes in that game against Vancouver. Like their fifth and sixth defensemen like just basically never saw the ice. But it really does feel like a put up or shut up game for the Edmonton Oilers. Like heads are going to start rolling like if they somehow lose this one. So hopefully they have a little bit of extra motivation in the mid price range. Like I really do like both Fox and Schaefer. Again, Fox has been shooting the puck more this season than is typical for him. This is not a guy who averages over 2 shots per game. 3 straight years under 2 shots per game. He's at 2.25 so far this season. That does make a difference. Slightly more blocks per game than last season. So I don't mind Fox. Obviously, Schaefer still shooting the puck quite a bit. Still getting good. The ice time has rebounded after being low for a couple of games. Don't mind sliding him in with your Islanders stacks. Both Darnell Nurse and Jake Wallman very much in play here. I would still play Nurse. I mean, listen, the guy shoots way more than he should. I think it's actually detrimental to the team, but it's good for DFS. So what the hell? I do like Nurse and Wallman. Ekholm, if you need a cheaper Edmonton defenseman. I mean, I guess Brady Shea is still in play. Simon Nemec is interesting. I got an article coming out tomorrow. I'm actually my newsletter. I will promote myself a little bit here. Newsletter comes out every Tuesday morning. You can go to my Twitter account. And you can just subscribe for there. It's for free. Nemec has one of the highest zone entry rates for defensemen in the NHL this season. I'm talking like Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes levels. It is absolutely insane. And New Jersey's bottom 6 is scoring like 40% more than they did last year. And Nemec plays most often with that bottom 6. So like he might be a little bit expensive, but this is a really good matchup for him if he wants to just take the puck and go, because this is still, still the New York Islanders. They're not very good. Ryan Pulock, I think, is perfectly fine playing next to Schaefer. Gustav Forsling for Florida, under 3K. Pelech, Borgen, and Mikkola are the 3 guys that stand out.
Before we move on to goalies, we have a $4.99 super chat from Clue96. Cliffy with the Ducks shutout put me onto them, and I went 10x Saturday with Leo. Thank you. Is this our Chica from Alaska?
I don't know.
Because if it is, I can't stop thinking about because she trains Siberian Huskies. Haas had a fit that the Siberian Huskies were sleeping outside. They are Siberian Huskies. But that's one of my favorite stories if it is you. But congrats, 10x. You always take that kind of night.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the super chat. We really do appreciate the support. The Ducks did it again. You do love to see it. Hopefully the Ducks can get you there again this season. I imagine they will.
Yes. Never late or never wrong, just early. Yes. Let's talk about goalies. I lost my train of thought there. Thinking about Haas getting mad that Siberian Huskies are sleeping outside. It's Igor Shesterkin night. I'm just going to come out and say it. No, but like seriously, Homer takes aside. Nashville has the lowest total on the slate. Igor Shesterkin is not the most expensive goalie. He's 8,200. I'd much rather play Igor Shesterkin than Stewie Skinner. If you want to play Jacob Markstrom, like that's fine. But like, you know, the Rangers are one of the best defensive teams at 5-on-5 so far this season. I'm in on Igor Shesterkin if you're spending up. In the mid-range, Bob at 7,600, I think is fine as long as he's the starter. Sorokin, I think, is fine. If you want to go with the Rangers can't score narrative, you can plug in UC Saros. Honestly, like even if the Rangers score, I think UC Saros is fine because I think he'll probably see enough pucks to possibly have a saves bonus, even if he gives up 3 or 4 goals or 7. Maybe not if he gives up 7, but like if he gives up 3 goals on 39 shots, he gets the save bonus. He won't kill you. I think I'd much rather play UC Saros than Jet Greaves just because of how bad the Blue Jackets penalty kill is.
Yeah. If you look at the expensive goalies on the board here tonight, Igor Shesterkin, he's at the top and it's not even close. In fact, his 1.73 DK fantasy points projected per $1,000. I think it's the highest of the season so far. It's pretty close. So I hate that there seems to be a slam dunk goalie to play on this slate because boy, does that go very wrong very fast, quite a bit.
All the time.
but Igor seems perfectly fine here tonight. So yeah, I really do like Shesterkin. Akira Schmid, if he gets to start, I think is okay. Like I'm not super concerned about Florida filling the net, but another one of those feels like famous last words. Like Saros, I do think Saros is a good play, right? Like this is a battle of two teams that have had trouble scoring goals. It feels likely this is a 6-5 game or something like that. Like it feels like if Nashville wins, it's like a 3-1 win or something. So I do like Saros and Bobrovsky's fine. But I think if I'm going to, pay down, let's say in net a little bit, I'll save the $400 and play Saros over Bobrovsky.
Yeah, I see someone say Akira Schmid tonight. I think he's fine because Florida's also had trouble scoring. So, yeah, I think he's fine at 7,800, but I'd much rather play Igor Shesterkin. Noah, thoughts on Noah Hannafin, 22 to 24 minutes a night? I think I'd rather play him than Shea Theodore, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of agree too. Again, those zone entry numbers I was looking for defenseman, Hannafin is doing extremely well so far this season. And, the point about the power play, I typed it in the chat and I just talked about it. I like just to mention this quickly. From 2022 to 2025, Jack Eichel played 230 minutes on the power play without Mark Stone, and the goal rate compared to when Stone was on the ice was 5 goals per 60 minutes lower. It is literally like 45% lower. So that's why I'm not super high on Theodore. Really don't mind Hannafin as long as he keeps getting the ice time that he's getting.
Yep. We will be back tomorrow. Should be a pretty full week from us. Wednesday and Friday are the question marks depending on GPPs. But who you liking for your hat trick pick?
I feel like I've picked him a couple times already this year. I mean, if I do it every single time he plays, he's got to get there eventually. You got to think Sam Reinhart.
That's what I used to do with Jonas Donskoy until it actually happened.
That's true.
Pouring out for the homie Jonas Donskoy, but I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna pick a Ranger because that's just ridiculous. I am gonna go Jesper Bratt.
Ooh. That would be something from 15 minutes a game to hat trick.
Yeah. I met a couple Islanders fans the other day, and I didn't know they existed, 1, but 2, they're very annoying. So go Jesper Bratt. Okay. We will be back tomorrow for sure. Bigger GPPs on Tuesday generally. Good luck, everybody, tonight, and we'll see you after Gabriel Perreault scores 5 goals.
Good luck tonight, everyone.